Cheers, everybody!
Welcome to St. Louis, Missouri.
I love this because she has no idea whatever I'm going to say.
I don't know what he's going to say, and I'm just like, I'm ready for my line. We are at Budweiser.
Yep, Anheuser-Busch Brewery here in St. Louis, and we're really excited. I'm actually working out of here.
For work.
For the next couple of months. So we're here. I'm like, Amber, you're coming with me. We're going to, and the battery died.
Newbies.
It didn't show me the indicator, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We are here. We're really excited. They do offer 4 different tours. I'm looking up here. So they have the Day Fresh tour. They have the Beermeister tour. They have the Clydesdale, which is what we're doing.
VIP.
And then the VIP Clydesdale tour, and then the Finisher tour.
A lot of them are sold out today.
Yeah.
From what we've seen. So we're super excited. Ours lasts about 45 to 60 minutes.
Yes.
We get to see the horses.
Yes, so we're really excited.
Please subscribe.
Yes.
Share with your family and friends.
You know what we forgot to say?
What?
Hello, hi, and welcome. Newbies. Our battery died, so it kind of threw us off our game.
And we're just super excited.
Yeah, we are. We gotta go check in. We really hope you enjoy this video. And yeah, enjoy it.
You didn't say like and comment.
Oh yeah, like and comment too. Guys, we're new. We're new.
We're just excited.
This is our first
you
video.
can tell when we're excited.
I know. But we're gonna come and check in.
Let's go.
Ingeniously sat by a speaker, which is pretty smart. We got the pretzel sticks, Bavarian pretzel sticks, and we got some French fries. So yum. Amber's really excited. She's really hungry. We didn't eat lunch on our way here, so our bad.
This collar here is not a standard plow horse collar. It's got this high Scottish spine on it, and it's certainly got a lot of solid brass fittings on it, which you wouldn't see in a plow horse. It's black patent and black harness leather sewn together with linen thread, and as you see, solid brass fittings. When a horse is of age and is chosen for our hitch, that's the set of 8 horses and the wagon that will perform at parades and state fairs and all the kind of events they go to. They would fit the collar for each horse because it's sort of like neck sizes, and that collar would stay with the horse for the duration of its time on the hitch. The bridle is also individually fitted. You'll notice on the bridle you have these blinders. You know, horses sort of have their eyes on the side of their head, and they're very easily distracted from the side. And when they're in harness being pulled forward, you can't have it. So that blinders are there to keep their attention forward. Now, a set of 8 of these, that's what is going out with the hitch, cost a little north of $100,000. Made by the Shanahan Harness Company of Huntsville, Ohio. And they've been doing business with us for a good long time. They weigh about 135 pounds. But as I'm going to tell you next, that's not much to these horses. Now, Clydesdales are always big horses. They start out at birth about 3.5 feet tall, 150 pounds. They can run around within minutes of their birth. When they're 4, when they're considered young adults, that's the earliest a horse could join our hitch. They're about 18 hands, or in non-horse terms, about 6 feet at their withers. That's where their neck meets their shoulders. And they weigh about 2,000 pounds. So they're literally a ton of horse. To be specifically a Budweiser Clydesdale, they have some other criteria. First, they're geldings, neutered males. They also have some color requirements. You have to have a bay coat, a dark brown coat. You have to have a black mane and tail. You have to have 4 white stocking feet, and the white stocking feet, the hair is called feathers, actually, and it does sort of float out from their feet. And they have to have a white blaze on their forehead. Now we've got about 170 to 200 horses in our herd. That's the largest herd of purebred Clydesdales in North America. There are about 100 at Warm Springs Ranch. So that's about a 2-hour drive west of here in Interstate 70. That's where our breeding program is. And if you want to take a tour out there, that's where you'll see the foals and the mares, particularly this time of year, running around like you'd see in a commercial. In St. Louis, we have about 50 based here. We have 5 or 6 here at all times. Now there are an additional 10 that travel with the hitch, and they are gone about 300 days a year. You just missed them by 2 days. They were here at least through Wednesday, 3 days. And those 10 horses are on the road for about 300 days a year, as I said, so we don't see them very much. In Grants Farm, that's about 20 minutes southwest of here in St. Louis County, we have the remainder of about 50. Some of those are retired horses, some of them are right now horses from 2 other hitches. We're the home of the Midwest hitch. We're the only hitch operating now. We also have a West Coast hitch based in Fort Collins, Colorado, and one in Merrimack, New Hampshire. They're both locations at breweries. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the association with Clydesdales and Budweiser is. It isn't obvious. It goes back to 1933. The end of Prohibition was in sight, and in anticipation of that, 2 sons of August Bush Sr., Adolphus II and August Bush Jr., bought for their father 2 teams of 6 Clydesdales and 2 wagons. And we'll talk more about wagons when we go back in here. But there's wagons, as you see, decorated like that. They got them and painted them like that. They told their father that they had just gotten this fancy new car for promotional purposes. He was upset with them because they were in Prohibition. The family had gone into debt, a lot of personal sacrifice involved in getting through Prohibition and keeping this brewery open. But he followed them up here to look at the car. At that point, this was a garage, not a stable. But as he approached those double doors out there, these two teams of horses in their finery pulling these two wagons, freshly painted up, came out, and he was in tears of joy. He was an emotional guy, and he also was crazy about horses. When he was 17, he told his father, Adolphus, that's one of our founders, that he wanted to be a cowboy. Adolphus, the father, said, well, that's okay, but you do have to come back and work in the brewery. And he does go out for a couple months. Apparently, it only took a couple months for him to decide that he'd rather come back and be a beer baron than have to actually work at being a cowboy in an unfenced or whatever it is that cowboys do that makes them a hard job. But in any event, he comes back from that. So he's very happy about these horses and wagons. Now, on the 7th of April at midnight, 1933, we sent from here some of the first post-Prohibition Budweiser. Sent it up to the airport here and flew it to Newark. In Newark, they met one of those hitches and wagons, or the horses and wagons that had been previously sent up there by rail, loaded the beer on the wagon with the police escort, went through the Holland Tunnel under the Hudson River up into Manhattan to the Empire State Building, where they made a presentation of one of those first cases of post-Prohibition Budweiser to Al Smith. He'd been the governor of New York and was very active in the trying to get Prohibition repealed. Shortly thereafter, they made a similar delivery to FDR at the White House. Now, FDR had just been inaugurated in his first term, and a major plank on his campaign was the end of Prohibition. So they were rewarding people that had aided the end of Prohibition. Next year and a half, 2 years, they made about 85 stops in different cities. As a PR thing, we're back in business, we want to get to know you, all that. And it was a very successful PR campaign. It really helped sales in a very immediate way. And so that was the association of Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser. There has, other than these ceremonial deliveries, there have never been any Budweiser called in these wagons. Now, I'm going to come out here and talk a little bit more about the wagons since we have it all to ourselves. You want to come on out. This side, that's the side where they kept their wagons and carriages and what have you, and paraphernalia like that. On the right were roller stalls. That's where the horses were kept, and they were not Clydesdales at that time. Remember, they didn't show up until 1933. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the wagons. We have 10 or 11 in our fleet, I guess you'd call it. We only use 3 in our hitches, but there are others around to be pretty and look at. They are what are called Studebaker running gears. They come from about the turn of the 19th to the 20th century. And I'm going to talk about this one in particular because this one, we believe, was one of those first 2 that the brothers bought for their father. This is called the Big Wagon. And it's called the Big Wagon because it's too big to fit on the tractor trailers, or the trailers that we haul them around. But this was originally owned by Genesee Brewing Company in Rochester, New York. And then it went to the Chicago stockyards. That's where the Bushes found it and bought it and painted it like this. The Studebaker running gear, I have no idea what that means. There are no gears on there that I can see. Even after the 1920s, they started to put engines on these, and they still call it a Studebaker running gear, even after they get engines on the side. I may never know, or I've even tried to figure out what that meant. At least Google it. Google it. Now, do you have any questions here?
Is it always 6 horses?
Well, I'm sorry. It was 6 horses originally. For the first year, they added 2 more in the second year. Now, I want to talk about the horses. Really, we have 8 horses, but it's really 4 teams of 2. The 2 that are closest to the front of the wagon are called wheel horses. They're the biggest, strongest horses. They're the ones that are actually pulling the wagon. Next 2 are body horses. They generally don't pull the wagon, but if you're going up a hill or a grade, then they'll dig in and help pull the wagon. Now, these 1,000-pound horses can pull about 2.5 times their weight, so about 5,000 pounds. So those 4 horses that are actually pulling can pull about 20,000 pounds, which is, these don't have real rear in them, so they're not really pulling an enormous amount of weight. The next 2 horses are the swing, or the next 2 horses are the body horses. Well, I mentioned them. They're the ones that dig in and you're going up a grade. The next 2 are the swing horses. Those are the guys that steer with. That's who the driver would move to make your left or right turn. The front 2, they're 65 feet out there in front of the wagon here. Their noses are. They're the lead horses. They're the pretty boys. They're the high steppers. They also have to be pretty fast because they have a lot farther to go when they're making a turn because they're way out there in front. Now, we're going to head out, and right now we're going to look at how these horses travel, which is 4 horses travel pretty much in style. Travel with 10 horses. There are 8 on the hitch, and there are a couple extras. Might, put in for a horse that's going to take a day off from the hitch. Or also we have events that they're not pulling wagons. They're single horse events where they might go out to a. Let's see if I can get this open. Where they would, what the distributors actually set up the occasions when the horses go out. So a single one might be a car dealership opening or a liquor store opening or something like that, depending on what who the distributor knows and who he wants to grace with the visit. But it's, as I say, air ride suspension, mat, thick rubber mats. 6. They travel with 10. 6 on one of these. They travel with 3 of these. Crew of 7. They have 3 of these, so there are 3 and 1 van they travel with. So, wow, a lot of time on the road. They never go more than 500 miles in a day. They never spend the night. The horses never spend the night on the trailer. They have agreements with folks all around, stables all around the country where they'll stay overnight. They'll typically go to a location where they've arranged different events, all within, an hour or 2 driving from there, and they'll stay there for a week if they can. So even while they're on the road for 300 days a year, it isn't like they're going great distances every night. They do have in here lots of windows for ventilation. There's a closed TV system that the driver can see what's happening back in the trailer without having to get out and stop and get out and actually walk back into it. They actually exit an entrance. They get in and out from the sides of here, this back lanes, where you would be storing extra gear. The third, 6 horses on one, 4 on another, and then you'd have the Dalmatians. They'd have their kennel in here, and then you'd also have portable stalls for the horses. You'd have all their harnesses, and you have that other wagon that they pull and all the paraphernalia that goes with questions? Now, it's
3 of these for every event.
yeah, they travel with 3 of these and one van, person
Right.
van. These guys work 6 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. It's not a job that you'd want if you wanted to have an active family life, that's for sure. But
What kind of events? They must do like big parades. Or
well, they do
big
parades,
football games, or-
football games, state fairs, music festivals, all kinds of things. Like I said, it's arranged by the distributors, really, and it's a marketing event, really.
And then they must do like the Super Bowl commercial. They have to travel somewhere to do
Well,
that.
that's interesting. They actually this year they didn't have one 2 years ago. The first Super Bowl after COVID, or maybe before. They did last year, and it was sort of a last-minute decision. And actually, they sent some of the Clydesdales up to Wisconsin or Michigan, where the person who produced most of them is, and he puts it together. Now, this year it was somewhere out west. I don't know if you saw the Clydesdale one in the Super Bowl this year. It really wasn't a very good piece of branding. It was
No,
a
it
little
wasn't as good as the rest of
disappointing.
them.
Yeah,
My favorite one
but they
was
did
the
put it
one
together
after-
at the last minute.
The one after 9/11. That one was awesome.
Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
gosh.
Goes on in their life.
All right, guys. Well, welcome to our stables. My name is Jessie, and this is Slick here for you guys. I'm going to walk you through his grooming process, tell you about his training, and then you'll get the chance to pet him and grab some pictures with him as well. So Slick, like most of our Clydesdales, did start out at Warm Springs Ranch in Boonville, Missouri, where most of our Clydesdales are going to reside. Once he turned about 6 months old, we did start weaning him off of his mother, and then once he turned about a year old, we sent him out to Graham's Farm. That is where he stayed until he was 3 years old. While they are at Graham's Farm, they go through some basic training, so we are getting them used to wearing a halter, being led around in a lead rope, working closely with the handlers. He's also getting used to what his grooming process is going to be like, because as you can imagine, it is pretty lengthy for these guys. And we also want to make sure that they are very comfortable being around people. Slick is 7 years old, so he is pretty well used to everything and being in the spotlight by now. But of course, to get them warmed up to those larger crowds that they will be in front of, it's nice for them to start slowly getting introduced to small groups of people, because eventually whenever they are out on the road, they are going to be in front of hundreds, sometimes thousands of people at a time. So really, when you hear the term for them gentle giants, it really does suit them very well. No personal space with these guys, I tell you. It is what it is, though. So by the time that they turn 3 years old, we send them back out to Warm Springs Ranch. That's where they're going to go through a final checklist, and their training is also going to be getting pretty intense for the position that they will be pulling on the hitch. Slick is actually one of our lead horses, so our drivers really have to trust him. He's very responsive to those commands, and he is going to be at the very front of our hitch. You guys are just seeing his very playful personality. That's just, he gets bored sometimes whenever he's just standing there, so he's got to occupy himself. I mean, see, this is what he does. So, you guys are here for him anyway. I'm just going to let him steal the show. But he, like I said, he is going to be one of our lead horses. So by the time that they are 4 years old, fully grown, fully mature, but usually they will end up joining our hitch once they turn about 5 years old, is whenever we like to send them out. Now, as far as their grooming process goes, once a week they do get a full body bath from head to hoof, but every day we are going to be washing their legs. So the shaggy white hair that's down at the bottom, this is called their feathers. We do want to keep that nice and white, so we use a mane and tail shampoo and conditioner, as well as bars of Castile soap. That's going to keep it nice and white. We will rinse it off, and then we'll move on to their body. So our first step is going to be our curry comb. We will just use this in small circular motions all over their body. That just helps lift up any loose dirt or hair that is on them. We also will at times vacuum our Clydesdales. That's what this machine is here. It's really good if we do a full body clipping on them just to get rid of that loose dirt and hair very quickly. And it also just kind of polishes everything down. So you're going to use this the way that you would if you were like vacuuming off your couch at home. We just turn it on and we start sucking up all of that loose dirt and hair all over their body. And it is very loud, so this is something that they have to get used to as well. So for our horses that are not quite ready for the vacuum yet, or if we need to just do a quick grooming, we will just stick with our brushes. So after we use that curry comb, we'll use our hard bristle brush first. That's going to flick off the rest of that loose dirt in here that was brought up with that curry comb. And then our final step is going to be that soft bristle brush. We will use this to polish down all of that hair and make sure that everything is lined in the same direction. Next step is going to be the comb. So we will use this on their mane, their tail, their forelock, which is that piece of hair that lays on their face, and we will also use it on their feathers. So it's really good, especially after they come out of their stall. They're going to have a lot of shavings left over, so we can just quickly pluck those out with a comb. And then our final step is going to be our washcloth. So we will just get this wet with water, or we have a waterless shampoo that we can use. We'll just spray it down, wipe down their face really good, but we want to pay attention to their nose because they're always going to have a lot of grain, water, dirt, dust, all kinds of things that get stuck up in their nose. So we want to clean that out really good for them. And once we've done that, we will have a clean Clydesdale. Next step is going to be braiding. So for the handlers, that can take us anywhere from about 20 to 30 minutes if there is some sort of an event that we have to get them ready for. Of course, we like to give ourselves a little bit more time if necessary because what takes the longest is going to be the mane, and sometimes it takes longer because the length of their neck can vary. Some are a little bit shorter and some are a little bit longer, so we need to give ourselves extra time if needed. But this is going to be our main roll, so we will simply just unravel this, and we will start at the top, work our way down the length of their mane. For any type of one-horse event that we do, of course, we will braid the full length of the mane, but if they are going to be on the hitch, we only braid about 3/4 of the way down because we don't want the braid or the flowers to be interfering with any of the harness pieces. They have to sit here on their shoulders and on top of their withers. Next is going to be the flowers. So we will do that signature red and white pattern. We will stick that stem into their braided mane, and to keep it secure, we're going to take that stem, wrap it around. We're going to tuck it into their mane and within their braid, and that's going to help keep it secure so that it doesn't go anywhere. Hello. Next is going to be the forelock. So this will just be a ribbon that we will cut, and it might be a little bit shorter too, depending on the length of the forelock that we are working with. But we will simply braid that in, and we will take that extra piece that's left over. We will tuck it right underneath that piece of their halter. And it's the same whenever they're on the hitch. We just tuck it to the side of their bridle. And then our final step for braiding is going to be the tail. So we will do a French braid, we'll wrap that into a bun, and then we simply stretch this bow right over that bun that we have created. So once we've done that, we will have a fully braided Clydesdale ready to go for any event. Now, there are a couple of reasons that we do that braiding. First of all, Clydesdales are a draft horse, so it's all about showing off their size. They are one of the larger breeds of horses. So we really want to accent certain body parts that they have. So by putting in that mane roll, it's really going to accent the length of their neck. So by putting it in, you're going to see how large that it is, especially from a distance. You guys are getting to see firsthand how big that these guys actually are since you're standing so close. But all of that braiding really accents that for us. And the next reason is for safety. There's a lot of moving parts on the hitch, and we do not want their hair getting caught in anything. So all of that braiding makes sure that their hair is secure. It's going to keep them looking uniform and make sure that it's not getting caught in anything. That's another reason that their tails are short. We do dock them before they even turn a year old. So we're going to dock it right where their tail bone is actually going to start. So you guys can kind of see that here. We'll just dock it right there. He thinks he's got to move over. That's what he's doing. You know whenever I go back there that's what I need you to do, so you're doing the right thing. But that's why we are going to do that, and it's just, of course, going to keep them looking beautiful and keep them all looking uniform. Now, as far as retirement goes, we actually do not have a set age for that. Their lifespan is between 20 and 25 years. The latest that we've seen retire is 18 years old, which is definitely pretty old for these guys. Currently, one of our oldest horses is Sparky. He's 16 years old, and we really don't see him retiring anytime soon. He's still very spunky, very full of energy. So when it does come time for retirement, we are just looking for changes in their temperament. So do they seem to be getting sour? Are they just not really enjoying it as much anymore? Are they having a little bit of an attitude with their position on the hitch? All of those things happen, and some get tired of it a little bit sooner than others, and they retire after being out on the road for maybe just a couple of years. So they do the right thing and they retire early. So whenever that happens, we send them out to Grant's Farm, and at that point, their shoes are also going to come off. You guys probably saw a brand new horseshoe on the inside. This is what one will look like after it's been on them for 6 weeks. That's how often that our farrier comes. So this is going to be coated in boreum. It's going to help give them some really good traction whenever they are out pulling. But like I said, for retirement, we'll go ahead and take all of these off because out at Groom's Farm, there's really no reason for them to have these on anymore. They're not going to be pulling or doing a lot of work. They'll just kind of be relaxing and maybe used for tours every once in a while out there as well. There are some times that we will do private sales as well. So sometimes handlers or maybe people within the company will be interested in taking a Clydesdale. If that happens to be the case and someone is interested and wants to go ahead and buy one from us, we will actually go out and we will check out the property ourselves, make sure that everything is up to par, because they are so well taken care of here. We want to make sure that the next place that they are going is going to match the standards that we've been giving them while they are here with us. Now, just a little bit more information about Slick. He is 7 years old. He is normally part of our West Coast hitch, so he's been at Grant's Farm and here at the brewery with us, just taking a little bit of a break before he heads back out. He is going to be about 18 hands tall, so when we're talking hands, we're talking 4 fingers, so we're going to start by measuring that here at the hoof, and we're going to be measuring up to his withers, and he is going to be about 2,000 pounds. So as you can imagine, he is going to eat quite a bit. It's going to be anywhere from 6 to 7 pounds of grain a day, up to 60 pounds of hay. That's always the cutoff point, and about 30 gallons of water on a daily basis for these guys. So they're probably our most expensive employees, let's be honest, but they're definitely well taken care of and very painful for sure. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you start taking pictures with him, and you are more than welcome to ask any questions if you have any. I'm just going to turn him around so that you guys have a better angle for pictures. What I do ask though is that you stay about an arm's length away from him. He's got very big feet, so you need to be mindful of your toes. They have to shift their weight a lot, so just be cautious of his feet and just give him a pet on the shoulder. He'll really like that. He may reach around and try to smell you. He's just being friendly, so don't let it startle you by any means. But what we ask though is that you just don't touch their face. Just stick with giving them a pet on the shoulder.
You'll notice Jesse is wearing steel-toed boots. That's part of the job description.
Oh my God, look. It looks like we have a Clydesdale right behind us.
We did though.
Oh my God, those things are so beautiful.
They're huge. I got a little bit nervous because you don't realize how big they are, so I didn't want to go up and pet it and get nervous already.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stayed back. They're huge.
What's scary is that's a small one.
They're very intimidating, but they're beautiful. They're so gorgeous.
Yeah. It was I wouldn't say it was a bucket list, but to be able to stand this close to them.
I kind of was though.
For you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
who
pretty.
Who can say that you saw the Budweiser Clydesdales?
Guys, this hand touched it. I touched the Clydesdale.
I videoed it.
But this was an amazing experience.
I recommend this.
Yeah.
If you're by this area or drive, this is all about. We did the VIP Clydesdales.
Mm-hmm.
You can do like the day tours and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Ours was about 45-50 minutes.
It was.
It was so freaking cool.
Yeah. And we do about, I recommend doing it 1 or 2 or 3 days ahead of time. That way you guarantee your spot. We did a 1:45 showing, which is still pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
a lot of tours were already
sold out.
Yeah. So if you can do it ahead of time, like if you know you're coming, make a small drive out here. Today was a perfect day for it.
Yeah.
We say that a lot, but it has been the past few days here in St. Louis.
Yeah. If you made it this far, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and comment.
Subscribe.
Yes. So, guys, thank you so much. And we will definitely see you guys next time. Bye, guys.